guys, welcome to a new video here in JS Education. My name is Carlos Santana and this is the video number 45 for the course Developing a Headless CMS with TypeScript and GraphQL. So let's start. Okay, before I start this video, I recommend you that you do git pull origin master because I did a little refactor before this video. And basically what I did is to rename the Fog UI and Fog utils packages. They are now content PI, add content PI / UI and add content PI / utils. But also I create a new package called content PI / core. And this is because before I had all the utils functions inside the utils package, but the problem is that some of the functions were very specific for the CMS. So what I prefer now is to break it into packages. Now the core is going to contain all the specific functions and the utils, all the generic functions. So after you do that, and now we need to go to NCU RC file, and we need to add to the reject the emotion core and emotion style, because today they released the version 11, but I just tried and it's causing some issues. So for now we are going to disable the updates on those packages. Okay, so after you do that, you can run now ncu-u to update the packages on the front end and the back end, and basically make sure you are taking the same versions you are seeing on my terminal to avoid any problem. So after this, you need to install the packages. Okay. I think also you need to install the core content PI / core into the backend. So just make sure you install that. Okay, so the first file we need to modify is the GraphQL resolver's value. And in here, basically now this get entries is coming from content PI core. And also another change that I made is the get entries. Now, instead of passing the fields directly, now it's going to receive an object like this. So that's why the reference blocks were broken. I just fixed that bug. Okay, and after that, let's go to create or edit entry. And in here, there is a lot of files that I'm going to basically reorganize the imports. For example, you see these functions that are getting some errors. That's because those functions are not living anymore on utils, but they are living now on the core package. Okay, now let's go to this file, custom fields, and we need to do the same. Okay, the next file is content. So in this one, we had before the pagination. So now we need to remove that because we are not going to use the pagination here anymore. And the get values for table is coming for the core. So you need to go down here, and now the pagination is, you need to remove pagination from here, and we need to pass as a prop on data all the pagination information like this, and that's going to render the pagination inside the table component. This is for having more control on the pagination. So for example, when we search something, we want to remove the pagination so we don't have any problems. Okay, after that, you need to go to create app model, and basically we are going to do the same. We need to reorganize our imports. Then you go to create enumeration model. Basically we do the same. just like that. Also create field model. Okay, create model, and this one also has the get empty values. Now coming from core, now edit field model, and finally edit model. Something like this. Okay, so after this, you need to go to declarations, declaration styled. So in here, I'm going to implement a solution that was suggested by Emmanuel. So as you know, many people have joined the Slack community to help me with this open source project. And there is one person called Emmanuel that is from Venezuela that he made a very good point. Do you remember that on our declarations, when we have, for example, one model, we have just one model, then the reference is not listed on the declaration list. Or for example, when we don't have enumerations, the drop down option on the declarations is also disappearing for them. But Emmanuel suggests like why we don't keep those options all the time, but we just disable them. Like we just remove the click and we probably make it like a gray color for them. So I think that's a good idea. That's a pretty good idea. So the thing we need to do to implement that is basically here on the widget option. I'm going to add this class disabled, and the background is going to be gray, almost white. And then if you go to declarations index, right here, these two lines are basically the validations to hide the drop down and the reference, but we need to change that. So we are going to remove those to have it on variables, the same validations we had before, but on variables. So we can have control if it's a disabled dropdown or disabled reference. So in here, the disabled message, or probably I just can call it, well, yeah, disabled message is fine. By default, it's going to be field.description, but then if the disabled dropdown is there, then we need to assign that to you should create at least one enumeration, and disabled reference, you should have at least 2 models to create a reference. So that's it. Then we need to change the title and the class. Basically, we are going to append the disabled class if disabled dropdown or disabled reference is there, is true. The title is going to change for the disabled message. And here on the on click, we need to remove the click functionality. So that's why we need to validate that if disabled dropdown and disabled reference are false, both. So that's the only way where we allow them to click. And also we need to change the color of the icon. So if there is a disabled dropdown or disabled reference, we put them on gray, otherwise we put them on the current color they have. Okay, so now let's go to the server, and also here we need to fix imports, just like that. Also on the language switcher. So all the language functions and the internationalization functions are moved now to the core. And finally, we need to go to our sidebar. And the get direction is coming out from core. So that's it. Let's test our application. To see if everything works fine. Okay, so everything works fine. We go now to the application and then let's go to the models. And if you see here on the declarations, now we can see the dropdown and the reference, but now they're disabled because we don't have enumerations to enable the dropdown and we don't have reference to enable this part. So for example, if now we go to here and we create enumerations, for example, fruits, apple, mango, peach. So now if we go to the models, now you're seeing that our dropdown is enabled. And the reference is still disabled because we just have one model, so we need to create a new one. So for example, author. And then maybe we add here a title. Okay, let's create some content. And now if we go to the model post, now we are going to see the reference enabled. And now we can add that reference, the author reference. I think there is something with the scroll here. I need to fix that. So I'm going to create it like this. Okay, so now we have the reference. So now if we go to create some content here, a new entry, and we click here on link existing author. Okay, I'm getting an error. It says it's on reference model. So let's open this file here. Okay, looks this function also needs to be fixed. So this one is now coming from core. And let's see if that fixes the problem. Yeah. So now we can publish or post with author. Okay, great. So that's it. Thank you so much for your time. So remember that if you have any question, feel free to join our Slack community. Also, if you want to help me with the project. And if you like those videos, please help me sharing those and giving some likes. So that's it. Thank you so much for your time and see you in the next video. Bye.